our cities benefit from being able to keep buildings from different eras as a way of making an experience of a city authentic. James Street that we're on is part of an incredibly new, buzzing, vibrant precinct. But this is sort of a reminder that there have been people and stories here for a very long time. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is our collaboration.
Sitting quietly on one of Brisbane's most chic streets, an unassuming building slipped into forgotten disrepair. After nearly 160 years as a prestigious private residence, an orphanage and a hospital, this humble and historic building lay in wait until a mother and daughter architect duo decided to team up and give it a brand new life.
In 1903, it was bought by the Midgley family as a private residence. They had a series of daughters and one of them was a school teacher. And Annie Midgley turned it into a school. It was a school for 50 years and she called it, which I love, Miss Midgley's Educational Establishment.
When the school closed, it seemed like the end for Miss Midgley's. But when Lisa and Isabella stumbled across her hearth nearly 116 years later, they quickly realised this building still had many more stories to tell.
Mum and I both went to the same architecture school, albeit 30 years apart. And we'd been looking for a project to do together for a while. We really wanted to work together. We had really different skill sets. Everything aligned really nicely.
So we just took a deep breath and dived in. As the first heritage building we'd ever done before. We had built before, but nothing like this, so it was quite an adventure. My husband and I went and hired jackhammers and just went to it really to see what was underneath. It all lifted off amazingly and exposed these beautiful stone walls. It's a good example to see the kind of condition that the house was in before we started work on it. No one had done any restoration work on it or even given it a coat of paint, I'd say, for 70 years.
Mum, was this completely uncovered too?
Yes, all that wall, yes, all that wall was green.
It was
not good.
It needed so much work.
It was a mess. It was a real mess.
And being able to maintain a heritage building requires someone who's really committed, looking for someone to take care of it.
We're very hands-on. I think in these kind of projects you actually have to be.
Yeah, her jackhammering, not surprised. Her relocating plants from a friend's house, not surprised.
This whole wall had been covered in pink render.
To about here. I think that's where it came down to.
And the builders had started to uncover and found this beautiful skylight. Yeah. And the glass expert that came to see it, he said, you can't buy that glass anymore. It's made with a very special process. And yeah, it's just fun. Those things are fun to learn, you know, the little gems.
I started getting very interested in the storytelling component of design and the public. And from quite early on, we had a really interactive approach to Instagram stories and would ask questions and take polls and in a way, getting community feedback through social media.
We even polled the colour pink to paint it, I think.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah, super fun.
So it's just being astounded that this is part of Brisbane's history and we love sharing it with people. We're very proud that we've got to give this back to the community. There's spaces and floor plans in this building that you would just never be able to build again. And in terms of staying here as an experience, each room has a completely different floor plan. They all feel different, they have different stories and different elements in them. Some have fireplaces, some have hand-painted wallpaper from the 1860s, and that, you can't recreate that.
When the builders were on site, one of our favourite builders, Mike, wrote his lunch order on the wall for the boys to take a photo of. We thought it added a really beautiful part to the history of the building, so we've left this here hopefully for someone else to discover in the future. So Mikey's lunch order is a framed artwork in the building.
I think working with her was like one in a lifetime experience, and I took every note that I could.
This was a long and hard project, and her energy was really something that kept me going when I thought that it was all going to be a bit overwhelming. That was a joy to watch her grit and intelligence take that.
Miss Midgley's is the perfect spot to get acquainted with Brisbane's history in style. Whether you're an out-of-town visitor or a local, the story of this pink palace is not to be missed.
Probably the biggest reward is making sure a building like this had another life that could be enjoyed by everyone, which you really probably won't ever see again or build again.